Hello my friends and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you are new, hi, hello, welcome for your first time. My name is Kaylee. I am so happy you are here. I hope you are having an amazing day, and if not, let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you out. For today's video, I am sharing with you my favorite books that I read in 2023. I am sharing with you all of my 5-star reads as well as a couple 4-star reads that I think that you should read. I read a total of 34 books this year as of 3:30 a.m. last night. We'll get to that one. My goal was 32 because I was 32 years old for the majority of the year. I can't decide if I want my goal for 2024 to be 33 because I'm currently 33, or if I should just go higher. I kind of want to do 40. Or should I do like 35? Kind of split the difference. What is your opinion? Comment down below. How many books should I read in 2024? Also, my kids are fighting out there. You can probably hear them. I apologize. So as a note, I don't usually read physical books. You may be able to tell that bookshelf back there is completely full. I have books double stacked, and it is a huge hazard. Like it's just gonna fall one day on the bed probably, and that'll be a disaster. Good thing I sleep on this side of the bed. I can't really buy new books, and I'm a mom, so I just have a harder time reading physical books because my kids don't seem to think of that as me doing something. So when I read, I listen to audiobooks, and then I can like do the dishes, and my kids usually ignore me while I do the dishes, or I can listen to them while I'm driving, or my favorite is to listen to them while I'm walking around the mall or some store. Because I listen to audiobooks, I do not have very many physical books to show you. I will put pictures of the books over here, but I only have a couple physical copies of the books, and there is a theme there of which ones I will actually buy. All right, let's get into my favorite books of 2023. I was really lucky because the very first book that I read this year, I rated 5 stars. And it is like one of the lower 5 stars in my opinion. It's not like the best book, but I thought it was really cute and I enjoyed it. And it's called The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. I'm gonna pronounce names wrong and I apologize. I shouldn't because I listened to the audiobooks. This book is the story of a contestant on The Bachelor. It's not called The Bachelor, but it's like The Bachelor. And it's also about one of the producers on the show, and they kind of fall in love. So it's adorable. It was just a cute romance and I loved it. It was so cute. So recommend that one. My next 5-star reads is called The Guncle by Stephen Rowley, and I loved this book. It was so cute. It's about, you know, family and love and grief and loss, and it was just so beautifully written, and the audiobook was read by the author, which I absolutely adored. I just absolutely love the way that he knew the material so well because he wrote it and he knew all the voices he wanted to. It was so perfect. I loved it. It's about an uncle, a gunkle, gay uncle, who takes in his niece and nephew for the summer after their mom passed away. And it's just so cute and I loved it. The next 5-star book that I read was The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and I'm gonna tell you, that was my favorite book I read this year. I adored that book. Man, I read this book back in like March or February, so I'm gonna get the details wrong, but it's about this guy who works for a company that takes care of like magical children, okay, who live in different orphanages. And he gets assigned to this specific orphanage. It has the most like problematic children, but that one is also about love and found family, and it is adorable. I absolutely loved the writing style. It was just so rich and beautiful to read, or listen to in my case. And I I just adored that book. It is my favorite book that I read this year. It was so cute. The next 5-star book that I read was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Haig? H-A-I-G. I do want to give a content warning for suicide, so be aware of that. But that book is about a woman who wants to end her life, and she ends up in this library, the Midnight Library, where she is able to open up a book and see her life from any different perspective. So like if she had made a different choice here, what would her life be? It's such an interesting book, the idea of it, of seeing your life through different perspectives. And I really enjoyed this one. It, you know, made me look at life differently, and I really appreciated it. I feel like they were also pretty tactful with the suicide stuff, because that is a topic that is very triggering for me personally. So I appreciated the way it was done. It wasn't too triggering or intense for me. So I highly recommend that one. I really enjoyed that. The next book is actually 4 stars, but I really want to share it, and it is, hold on, I actually have a physical copy. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Now, I wanted to read this book because the movie was coming out and I had not read it yet. I am a huge Hunger Games fan. Like ridiculously obsessed with the Hunger Games. I watch Hunger Games clips on YouTube on a daily basis, or like edits. There's this one edit on YouTube of Katniss and Peeta clips to Champagne Problems by Taylor Swift, and I watch it like at least 3 times a week. So I am Hunger Games obsessed. I don't like this book or the movie as much as I like the originals. This book was really good. I also highly recommend the movie. I am kind of obsessed with Rachel Zegler. I love her, and she was perfect for the role of Lucy Gray. Her singing was incredible. It was such a good movie. Also, the song Can't Catch Me Now by Olivia Rodrigo that's in the credits is one of my favorite songs of the year. I am obsessed with that song, and I listen to it constantly, like on a loop. It is so good. Oh, I haven't even told you what this is about, but this is like a prequel to the Hunger Games, and it's President Snow when he is a teenager, and he needs to mentor one of the kids that was in the reaping for the Hunger Games, and he gets paired up with Lucy Gray from District 12. When this first came out, I did not want to read it because I did not want to read a story that like, this is President Snow tragic background and this is why he turned out the way he was. I did not want to read that, okay? And that's not what this is. It's not necessarily like, oh, this terrible thing happened to him and that's why he's evil. It's not one of those villain stories like the Joker. I haven't even seen the Joker, but it's not like the Joker. I do recommend reading the book before you see the movie. I bought this so that my husband could read the book before we went and saw the movie, but he did not finish it in time, and there were a few things that I had to kind of elaborate, check it out, read it, and then go see the movie, because the movie was very well done. My next 5-star reads was Remarkably Bright Creatures, which is maybe the second favorite book that I read this year after House in the Cerulean Sea. Most basic synopsis is that this is a book about an octopus in an aquarium who solves a mystery. And honestly, it's so good. Like, I don't even want to give you other details than that, but it's so good. I highly recommend listening to the audiobook because there are chapters in this book where it's the octopus's perspective and the octopus is talking, and in the audiobook it's a different reader. The reader for the majority of this book is a woman, but for the octopus it's this guy, and his voice is like so perfect for the octopus, and it just, oh, it's delightful. So I highly recommend the audiobook. Also, the octopus is just amazing and made me cry, and I love the whole story of it. It's not what I was expecting, but I really appreciated it, and it's just like literary fiction, and it's really good, and I highly recommend it. This next one I only rated 4 stars, but I just love it. So it is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter, and I absolutely love Lynn Painter books. I've read like 3 of her books and I loved every single one of them. This one is like Groundhog Day or Palm Springs, and fun fact, the movie Palm Springs is one of my favorite movies. It's just like a time loop where she wakes up every day on the same day, and in this case it's Valentine's Day. I just love Lynn Painter. I love the way she writes. All of her books are so cute and just comforting to read, and I really recommend this one. This year, a group of my friends, we decided to start a book club, and for our first ever book we read Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I rated it 5 stars because I really enjoyed it. And I read a couple of other Emily Henry books and I wasn't a huge fan, but this one was my personal favorite of hers. This book is about a group of friends who meets up every year in this one vacation spot, and this is going to be their very last year there, and there's a girl and a boy who were a couple, but they broke up and they haven't told anyone, and they have to pretend that they're still together for this trip. So it's one of those like, what's the trope called, but like fake relationship tropes. I thought this book was really cute and emotional and went into the different like feelings and psyche of each character and why they made the decisions and choices that they did, and I really liked that. We got a lot of character development and insight, and I just really appreciated that, and it was just a cute story. I really enjoyed it a lot. Okay, my next one is another 4-star book, and it is Fourth Wing. Surprise! This book is super popular this year. I really enjoyed it. I listened to the audiobook and then I ended up buying the physical copy because with kind of like fantasy, sometimes I like the actual book so I can, you know, reread things to realize what's going on. It's kind of fantasy, we'll get to this one. Like, I like the physical copy of fantasies so that I can refer to it, especially because like there's a map. Like it's more helpful to have the physical copy, but I did listen to the audiobook of both the first and the second one. Oh, except this is Divergent. Like anything that happens in Divergent also happens in this book, so keep that in mind. It's Divergent mixed with How to Train Your Dragon. I enjoyed Divergent. I was actually a huge fan of the first book, not really the second, definitely not the third. And same with the movies. I like the first movie, hate the second, hate the third. But How to Train Your Dragon, that is my favorite movie of all time. So, you know, I was very interested in that. I love dragons. I think they're so interesting and cool. So that's what this book is about. Is this book incredible, amazing? No, but it was really fun and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot and I just was excited about the world that this was in, and it definitely has its flaws. The spicy scenes I hated. I'm not a fan of spicy scenes in general, but I hated them in this book because the dialogue is so cringy. I also got my husband to read this, and so we were able to discuss things. And then I also did listen to the second book, which I only gave that one 3 stars because it was so long. It was too long, you guys. There were a lot of things I didn't like about the second one, but I will be continuing on with the series when more books come out. So I do recommend reading this, but I know it's kind of hit or miss. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't, but I personally think it's worth a try. And my last 5-star book of 2023 is Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I finished this at 3:30 a.m. last night, so you can blame the dark circles under my eyes on this book. This one I also listened to and had the physical copy because I bought this for my book club, but I never got around to it, and then my audiobook became available, so I was like, hey, I'll just listen to it instead of reading it. Oh my gosh, I loved this one. Hated how this one ended, if I'm being honest though, because I need the second one like immediately. By the way, when I say that I finished this at 3:30 a.m., I started it yesterday as well. So like I started it in the morning. I listened to the whole 10-hour audiobook in one day. Clearly, I'm a fan. This book is about Evangeline, and she makes a deal with a fate named Jax to stop her love from getting married. And he, in return, she has to give 3 kisses that Jax decides when and where she does those. So she's indebted to a fate. I don't know what else I can tell you from this book, but like it's good. It's more of like a fairy tale fantasy kind of thing. Like there's fates and magic and spells, and there's also like little dragons and there's vampires. Like there's a lot of things in this book, but I don't know what it is. I really love it. Highly recommend it. I'm very excited to read the second one. I have also heard that I need to read the Caraval trilogy, which is in the same universe and has the same character of Jax in those. So I'm gonna have to read those as well. Highly recommend this one. I really liked it. Those are all of my favorite books of 2023. Please leave a comment down below with your favorite book of this year, or let me know what you think of the books that I liked. Maybe you hated them. Let me know what books I need to read in 2024. This is going to be my final video of the year, so I hope you all have a happy new year. I will see you in 2024. Excited for new videos. I have been working on a big list of videos that I want to make. My channel will be a little bit different starting next year, so I hope you enjoy it. But happy new year. I love you guys. I hope you are doing well, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.